For Lenape High School math teacher Tom Tamburello, it's an early start to a long day.
It's going to be a busy day today. Most teachers at Lenape teach 5 or 6 classes. I happen to teach 6. I usually start my day around 6:30, and usually I have 12, 13-hour days. That's not uncommon. Today's a 13-hour day. After school, I'm going to be giving a lot of kids extra help. I work basketball. I announce, I work the clock, the scoreboard, the book, and we've got a basketball game tonight, boys basketball, I believe, JV and varsity, from 3:45 until probably 7:30. So it's a quite long day, which is why I like to get to school early, get things all planned out, and we'll see how it goes.
At Cherokee High School, choral director Frank Guarini has just 9 days left to prepare his students, both vocally and mentally, for the annual holiday concert.
I normally like to walk this way. It kind of gets me awakened in the morning, and I do a little bit of thinking about what's coming up, getting my mind set on how these beginning classes should go. And with the concert coming up, it becomes even more important, because it's not just a matter of the kids learning their music, but also the mindset of gearing up for performing, which is a very interesting psychology.
Shawnee High School English teacher Tim Moran begins the day by accepting donations for a book drive organized by the Shawnee Interact Club to help children in Africa.
You can actually take that away. You don't have to fill out it now. You're going to take that slip, all right? And I'll collect it back from you next, like Thursday. Okay, you did. All right, put them right there. That's okay. Just try to put them so they don't fly all over. Fill out that slip. That's okay. Okay, fill out that slip and keep it till next Thursday, and I'll collect it from master list back then. All right, thank you very much.
At Seneca High School, family consumer science teacher Lynne looks forward to a busy day.
Today is the day of Seneca's sophomore cotillion. Being the class advisor for the class of 2013, who are sophomores this year, today is the day that I get to include decorating our cafeteria and transforming it into a really cool environment for the dance this evening. I have students from my executive homeroom that will be meeting me in the cafeteria. Probably going to take us 3 or 4 hours to transform the cafeteria into Fire and Ice, which is our theme for this year. The cotillion starts at 7. It's over at 10:30. I'm anticipating that around 11 o'clock I will leave the school building for good, not to return till Monday. It's one of the longer days, but it's part of being a class advisor as well as an educator, and helping these kids to really make the most out of their high school experience.
Making the most of his time before the Lenape school day begins, Tom Tamburello makes sure he has all the materials he needs for a day full of lessons.
And this is pretty much my routine every morning, getting here before most people are here, getting all this copying done. When I first became a teacher, I thought it would be easy to just kind of show up and do a few problems or something like that. But I have learned that you really have to be prepared, and a lot of effort goes into just getting organized and, providing a good learning experience for your students, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do sometimes. I got these seating charts here. They're all color-coded. As you can probably see, that this is a very special room. The students actually work in learning teams in this room. They don't sit in rows. The belief being that when students communicate mathematically with one another, they actually learn better than me just lecturing all periods. So any opportunity the students have to talk about math, the better. I use a lot of research-based methods when I teach because I'm a professional development trainer here in the district, and so I like to use a lot of the research that we talk with our newer staff about. One of which is writing objectives. So I like to have an objective and itinerary for our students in each class, so they have an idea of what they're supposed to learn by the end of the period. We all use GPS nowadays, and the very first thing you have to do when you use GPS is tell the GPS where you want to go. And that's what a mastery objective is for students and for the teacher. The mastery objectives tells the students what the goal is or the ending point for the particular lesson. And so it tells the student exactly what they should be able to do. And it gives the teacher some direction as to how to plan the lesson. And so it's improving instruction because it is giving the students some direction as to what's being taught. I like to hang these up in the front of the room. The first class is Prob Stat, so we're going to put this up here so that when students come in the room, they know exactly what they're going to be learning for the day and what the itinerary is going to look like. Research has found that if you do that, students are more apt, to pay attention and really understand and get the lesson, have some meaning for what we're going to do. What we're going to do now is I've got some makeup tests because we had a blood drive the other day. Tons of students actually missed, about 15 students missed a test because of the blood drive that we had. And so then what the teacher has to do is, find time for the students to make up this work. I don't like to have them make them up during class, so what they actually do is stay after school, come in early, come in during a study hall. Yesterday I had about 4 or 5 students making up work. So let's see, this is honors, this is Prob Stat, this is Prob Stat, Prob Stat, Prob Stat, honors. So we're going to just grade some makeup tests here so these students can get these back.
While Tom spends the last few minutes before students arrive grading tests, Lynne Ritter and the sophomore class officers get ready to spread some Seneca cheer.
We have flower delivery this morning. The flowers came about, believe it or not, as an idea the kids had as a fundraiser. They want to get as much money into their account so that when it comes time for senior trip and whatnot, we have the money there to do all the things that are involved, from transportation to meals and all that good stuff. So any money that can go into our account throughout the 4 years that we're here will really help with that when it gets here. All right, let's start grabbing flowers. Just tell me how many you need.
I need a lot. Hold on.
26? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10. If anything happens to a flower, come back and get another one. We made about 55 cents a flower, and we were able to deliver about 250 flowers. Okay, that was easy. It's one of those things where you hope that everything that you planned for ahead of time comes in. And I see a lot of people walking around the school with flowers today, so I know that they were happy to receive them.
At Cherokee, Frank Arini and student teacher Greg Boyle discuss their plans on how to get each group ready for next week's performance.
This is a really, really busy week. The entire week is going to be filled with after-school rehearsals with all guys on Mondays and Wednesdays, rehearsals with all females on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Plus, I'm working with a student who's preparing a college audition, so we need to squeeze him in, and also a student that is working on music theory with me, so somehow we have to figure out how to balance everything and still get everything done for the concert. Come on! Oh, man. Yeah, I know all about it. Hurry up. The latecomers. The stragglers. Hey. Hey. Hello. All right. See you later. The first group is an all-female group that is an audition group. They're a very young group. A lot of sophomores, and then juniors, and then the smallest number, I think, are seniors in this group. Yeah, there's one spot. You guys turn back to page 5. It's what you're doing as you're approaching the top note that's creating the issue. So can we just do third bar, altos and first soprano. Then soprano 2's add with a crescendo, right? Crescendo, ba-da-be, leading there. Third bar, ready, and boom. Give it a melody. Wait now. Listen to me. You're singing the F natural, and you're giving nice direction. Then all of a sudden we go to the G, and a lot of you bail out. Oh no, too high. You need to enable the note. All right, you need to enable it. It's not here. It's with the instrument here, how you're playing the instrument here. And I know you can do that G, and I know it can be great without sounding edgy, without sounding forced or pushed. You just need to play the instrument. Could we do one more time? And soprano, you got the F2. And it's like a waterfall. That way. I mean, you know, it's not like throwing a rock in the water. Pop, pop, pop. No. Top of the page, girls, please. Benedi. Adora. I'm sorry. Ready? Yeah, I'm sorry. I had all day with the grandkids yesterday. They ran me around. Yeah. The little girl comes. She has this little winter coat with a beret and a scarf that, oh my gosh. You know, it makes me think all the years, you know, I thought, God, don't let me, please, 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 don't let me have a daughter, no daughter, no daughter. I'm thinking, you know, it might not have been that bad. Anyhow, adoramus, ready? Top of 5. All right, now that you got that little bit of a chance to, you know, have a nice time, now let's go. Ready, 1. Du Christe, and Christe. It's no accent. Christe, that way. Go slow with the ST. Christe. Don't pop it. Christe. All right, do it again. Come on. You guys are on the verge of doing something really special with this music. Let it happen. All right, don't get in the way. Same spot. Adora. Ready? Good. Yeah, that's it. I know you can do it. You just got to think, got to think, got to think. All right, let's move on.
All right, take out anything you have to talk about today. Take out your notes, take out questions, take out the checklist. Do you have the checklist? My freshman classes are honors, and we tend to work a lot with logic and very formal writing, very formal construction, very formal analysis. So to segue from the novel analysis into poetry, which is going to go into Shakespeare, we read all the poems in Reading the World, which is our anthology, and going to give them a chance to respond to the poetry in a variety of ways. And I remember the whole point of this is that you get to look in that variety. You get to do anything you want, And to me, it's a pretty wide. You should be able to pick something out. So theoretically, for the past week, you've been analyzing the poems. You're looking at meaning, form, sound, style, figurative language. There are 15 mini assignments, and they can do visual presentations, they can do readings, they can recordings, they can use technology. They can write an academic, they can write an essay, they can do an analysis, they can use poetry terms. So they have 15 different ways of responding that they have to pick out. So if you were gonna test something on poetry, right? Now that's your spot. What do you think is the best way to make sure that a student knows the terms, you know, how to analyze, how to read, the sounds? How would you test that to make sure? Tests don't have to be 150 questions. Tests can be, you know, like I said, one or two things.
The one that's like two bodies, basically.
Yeah.
Is that like putting whistling, weeping? That's a sound. And then writing a poem using the style of
It's
poem.
good, right?
Is that it?
Is it good?
Good? Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Haha. That's rough.
Clever. But the next one's
I
like-
know. Look at that. Oh, see.
And then wait, I have one more question.
See, you get that to your mother, she'll start crying.
I know.
You know,
I
she really will.
You know the first one that's about
No, wait. Hey, ready? No joke. If you write one of these things, sometimes when your parents see it, they make it a gift. Say like, I wrote this for you, like on Mother's Day or something, and they start crying. Like if your mother sees that, she's done. You want a TV? How about a car?
But for the first one about the lady writing about Canada,
Yeah.
can that be like writing about your prized possession and changing like the person to you?
Actually, see, that's very interesting because she takes the place that's her as Canada. You could take the place that's you and make it your room. You can make it the second shelf of your dresser. You can make it about, you know, the things instead of the place.
About my nephew, be like,
Makes-
that was my prized possession.
That's what I'm talking about. That's perfect. Thank you. The questions that I anticipated them asking were, you know, about the format. And because it's honors, they should think on their own, and I don't necessarily provide all the information. I give them parameters and they can establish the format for themselves. So it was interesting that so many of them had products. They were actually doing the work now, where I would have thought that would have happened next week. And so they had pushed through the format to use the format to express their response, which is really interesting.
For this one, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do one recall, but can we like have like a mini section?
Okay, this is a fallacy, right? A fallacy is that you either like it or you don't like it. You either voted this way or you voted that way. That the absence of the middle. The middle exists, doesn't it? Things have to have a middle. So good point. They have to. If they don't have a middle, it's a lie. Because nothing's black or white. You should. You have to.
Like
How long does what have to be?
How many columns do we have to like sort out?
Strangely, 22,000. That's like you picked the hardest one there.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. It's really strange.
All right, from the guitar, it talks about the way on the guitar sounds and all.
Wait, who did I ignore over there? 1, 2. Okay.
This song, it talks about like the way on the guitar and all that a lot. And if I just like pick the guitar and start playing sad songs,
Excellent.
that's
Why would you not do that? You have to do that.
will be mild,
Minus 10 if you don't do that.
mild like cinnamon.
No, bring it in live. Ready? Can you give me that sheet? Did you check off that sheet? Do you know what you're doing? All right, ready? I'm going to say, if you know, make rows and give me that sheet. If you don't, like Monday, give me that sheet Monday. I want you to like get clarified before that week starts, all right? Give me that sheet, mate. Name on it.
Could I give it to you on Monday? Or do you want it now?
You know, should I just take those Monday from everybody? Oh my goodness. I'll take it now. If you make a fussy face, I'll take it now. All right. So just keep reading those things. Keep thinking. If you talk to somebody, make sure you keep talking to them.
Here's your pots of soup. This is the advanced foods class, the Foods 3 class, and they started the week with making stocks from scratch, beef and chicken and vegetable, and then they have taken those stocks and made soups out of them. So with the beef, we made French onion soup, and they're putting them in the crocks right now to broil with the cheese and bread on top. They made chicken noodle soup with their chicken stock. They are making cream and broccoli soup with the vegetable stock, and then the last group is making ham and potato soup with the chicken stock. That's probably just a hair too brown. Let me see.
How's that?
That's probably perfect. Like if you were to have it served, you would have browning at the highest points, and that's it. So, not that that isn't good, because my favorite part is the brown cheese, but you probably, for appearance sake, you want that nice contrast of light and dark.
Yeah.
Looks good. There's 3 of us in the Family Consumer Sciences Department, myself, along with Suzanne Arfuso and Donna Anderson. Suzanne and I both teach the Foods 1 classes. She has 4 sections and I have 2 sections. And we work together, and we really have to, because there is 1 foods lab in this building, and we have 6 Foods 1 classes, along with the 2 Foods 2 classes, 2 Foods 3 classes, and 6 intro classes. So needless to say, it's a crazy way to kind of get everything into this one room. Do you want to? Well, do you want to be in that room today?
I was going to say that 13th, why don't I be in that room? Because
Okay.
you're going to be out.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll switch them all over.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Cool. All right. We got soup yet? Noodles are cooked. Tasted it. Tastes awesome. Looks really nice. It looks like your grandmother made soup to make you feel better.
Yeah, so that's what it tastes like.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. Make sure this lid gets clean, because otherwise it's going to stick to my salt. That's great. Hey guys, we got chicken noodle soup over here that tastes like your grandmother made it.
Bubbly on the bottom.
I can't wait. Look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, you can. After you get everything fixed, all the seasonings and everything fixed. How'd you like the soup? Good? Yeah. My compliments to the chefstesses. Good job. Everybody did an awesome job. Good soups.
At Lenape, Mr. Tamburello greets his probability and statistics students with their first handout of the day.
Morning, Brendan. What's up? One of the unique things about the classes that I teach, we learn in clusters of 3 or 4 students. Employers have said that they want students that can collaborate, that have good interpersonal skills, that know how to work as a member of a team. And so what's really cool about the room where I teach is students are not only learning math, but they're learning some of these social skills that they're going to need when they get out into the real world. The groups are all heterogeneous. I spent hours literally figuring out where each student should go. I didn't want to just randomly throw students together. I actually pulled up each kid's schedule, and when you have 120 students, that's a lot to look at. And you look at each schedule and you figure out what other courses they're taking that year, what other math courses they've had, what grade they're in, gender, all these things. So everybody in the group has different strengths and weaknesses that can contribute to the success of the team. So the objective for today is you are going to be able to calculate what are called critical values. And it's something we heard about when we did confidence intervals last chapter. So by the end of class, you're going to be able to explain different types of hypothesis tests, and even more important, explain how to get critical values. And you're going to need your calculator for this today too, your TI-84, okay? I'm going to show you how to get a critical value for a left tail, a right tail, and a two-tail test. And then what you guys are going to do for the rest of the period is you're going to be working as a team to get some values, and we're going to be typing them into Quizdom. Students learn by explaining. Students don't necessarily learn just by watching. And so when students explain things to one another, they learn it better themselves too. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you are person A in your group, could you please raise your hand? Person A, you are going to be responsible right now to take a minute and explain to everybody in your group how to get critical values. And the rest of your group will listen and make sure you have it and make sure you have it. Go ahead. You can't just throw together groups of kids and expect them to work together. You have to teach them how to work together. We train students how to ask for help, that you don't give somebody an answer, because when you give somebody an answer, you shut down their thinking. Now, please make sure your group mates know what's going on here. Like, don't just tell your group mates what the next step is. Ask them questions. Make your group mates think about this. With teaching in general, whether you're in rows or whether you're in your groups, you can't just expect students to know how to work with one another. We expect a lot from our students. We expect them to know how to take notes. We expect our students to know how to study. We expect our students to know how to work with one another. And unfortunately, you can't assume anything. And so part of teaching is not just a teacher standing up there dispensing information that the kids could find on Wikipedia or Google, but it's finding ways to make the kids more resourceful, to give the students ways of remembering information. So there's a lot more to teaching than just showing students how to do something and giving students answers.
Our work this week is not on the level of learning notes or just robotically rehearsing notes, but rather getting the kids into a different kind of mindset, the mindset of someone who is going to perform this music. And the bottom line in all of this is not necessarily, well, you know, we sang all the right notes and we did this all perfectly and this was perfect and that was perfect, but rather to get the kids to understand that what they're doing now is something very important and very, very special in music making, and that is they're at the point, at the brink of performing this music and moving people. Can I tell you what it needs? It's not a question of you guys have to learn the right notes. What the piece, you know, you say to me, well, can we dance to this piece? But it doesn't need that. No. No, I'll tell you what. What it needs is when I look at you, you haven't identified yet. Now, listen to this. You need to consider something because you're missing something. When I look at you and I see you. Not hear you. I'm not talking about hear you, but when I see you, you guys disconnect to what you're singing. Now here's what I mean. Your voice is automatically, you're doing things that Mr. Boyle told you to do or I told you to do at one time, but your mind and body is not there. When I see instead of you say, well, you're just being stupid. But I'm telling you something. If you find, if we in this last week can connect onto our music so that you internalize it, you guys are going to do an incredible job. Don't make it mundane. Don't make it like, oh, well, you know, we got to sing this song, and then we sing this song, we sing these notes. It's not that. You got to be the music. Can you run, you know what, run a little bit of it again. And I'm not telling you this just to hear myself. I'm telling you, you want to reach another level with performance of this. That other level is inside you. It's not here, it's in here. All right, you got to find that other level. You got to let yourself be that music so that every piece of music you sing, you're a different person. You're acting. You're being an actress. Every piece of music is a story, and you got to get it across. And if you do that, you'll do something special. If you don't, you'll sing well. And people say, oh, you guys did good. Yeah, well. But there's another level.
Let's make it special, guys.
Try the beginning again. All right, here we go. Watch Mr. Boyle. Get the music up. Look like you're a singer, a singing actress. All right, great. Now, in the process of uplifting, soprano ones, sing it in tune. Here we go. Take off. Hallelujah. 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 El cielo canta alegría. Hallelujah. Say there. Porque tu vida la mía proclamarán al Señor. Hallelujah. 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 Okay. Much better. All right, thanks, girls. Nice job today. For Monday, pretty good. I gotta talk to you.
Okay.
All right? It's a good stuff. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a couple, two good stuffs.
All right.
Two good stuffs.
Are you free today after school?
Today, actually, I'm not. Is there another day this week that we could do?
Wednesday?
Wednesday could work. Friday would be even better.
I can do Friday.
Well, let's shoot for Wednesday to see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. Yeah, no, not today.
Oh.
But it's a good thing.
When am I going to find out?
Be soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay? I just wanted to tell her about a couple things in terms of groups that she should be singing in. She's a very talented young lady. And I'm going to try to do some maneuvering to see if I can get her into another ensemble, hopefully by second semester. But nobody's supposed to know that.
Period 4 is a prep period for Shawnee English teacher Tim Moran. Today, he'll use this time to give extra help to students from his honors English class.
Kids are smart, you know, and sometimes people do what they have to do, and sometimes they're smart enough where they can do just enough. And I think every once in a while that gets overwhelming. And things like grammar, basic stuff that, you know, you can kind of get it, but when you're pushed to absolutely say, this is what I know, and you don't really know it, just a little extra help, and I think that's what we'll get more. And I think that's the point. I think that's exactly, you're saying two totally different things. I never did it because I don't need to do it. Why are you sitting here? There's something you want that you don't have yet, right? You got the same score every time. So theoretically, there's one thing you're not doing. You can't get the same score every time. Try one more new thing. Put a little star by that one. Because if you need a 10% bump, and you can add 10% going a few days forward to start.
That should be like 2 points higher.
So add 2 days. And because remember, it's the time between study and then it gets in your brain, you know what I mean? Your brain has a hard time pushing all that information in and letting it sit. If you're doing all technology and just keep going on your brain's on, that it has no time to like wait and no time to sit, and that the information moves from short to long term. My vocab tests are not hard, I think, by any stretch, but they are specific, and they have like a reputation of being very difficult, but you have to study. Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you, why are you here? Is there a number of points that you would say, I want this more on the next test?
Well, I got 100 on both of them last time. I want that again.
So, apart from not studying,
Yeah.
so you really shouldn't be here. So you're saying there's nothing you you need to know how to do something differently. You just need to do something differently.
I need to do it.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you don't really need to be here. You're a time management problem. What I find people don't do is they don't try methods other than the method that they're, come accustomed to. So I just simply have a list on the first day of extra help, and they check off, what do I normally do? Check, check, check. And then we discuss some of the other methods. And it's interesting, they don't even know what they are. So within 4 or 5 people, they swap ideas and they can help each other, I think, very quickly sometimes. Who checked 8 days out?
No, God, no. Check that
All right.
out. No one.
No one.
The 8 days thing?
Yeah.
No.
Like this weekend, 11 and 12. That's what you study right now. I would almost suggest if you studied with somebody, but that would just be bad, wouldn't
No,
it?
she studied with me. Oh, yeah.
Does that happen?
I'm
Does that
not
really?
good at that. When I don't study, I just talk.
This is what I'm saying. Okay. There are some girls who are just very vocal, and they're very social, and they're wonderful people. But who wants to study for a vocab test? So if you can help them maybe use those strengths of talking, or telling stories to each other, and attach that to the simple task of studying for a vocab test. Make up a story about a word. Make up a story about the word history. Tell it to your friend. She's studying for the same test. Where are most of your words? In the back of your skull. And the only reason they're not coming to the forward because you're not saying them. So you just have to make that literally just keep saying them. And for some reason, I think that saying things with you two is a very helpful thing, because that seems to be a strong part of who we are. Today it happened where a few people admitted they do things not on purpose, but when they're taking a test, they're doing these things. And when we suggest, well, why don't you do that when you're studying, the light bulb goes off, and they try it.
I just write things down a lot of times. I can remember it.
Put a star by that right now. That's an old...
I can't write down things in 10 seconds.
For you, it may take more time, or it may take a different time. Again, the more times you write it, and again, that's pretty good, because on the test, you're going to write it down. And do you notice people who are taking the test, like when they get the test immediately, even if it's Scantron, they write all over that test.
Oh, I do that.
Well, put a double star by that. That's what you're doing. Did you do that last time? See, I think you're good to go. I think you need to talk to yourself and write things down.
Foods 2 is a kind of an international cuisine course. So we travel around the world and we explore cuisine from all different regions based on the climate, the culture, and the geography. So how did the cuisine in Italy, for instance, get to be the way it was? What were the origins? How did the people who settled there have an impact on what foods were served? Of course, agriculture, what grows there is going to have a factor in that. So they each get assigned, or they actually pick an island. And they have to go and explore who settled there, what people lived there, and what kind of crops grow there, and all that good stuff, so that they can determine how the cuisine got to where it is, because each island has its own unique cuisine. Once you guys get in here, if you can open up your brochure so I can take a look at it, I need you to at least have your recipe done today so I can approve it. Once everybody gets their brochure done, they're going to come back to the classroom. They have to do a market order. Then they have 3 days from the first day to start prepping. The third day we serve everything. So we'll get to sample all 5 of those dishes that represent the Caribbean. And they like that part. They might not like the brochure part, but by the time we get to our eating day, they're really fascinated by the dishes that they prepared. So it's fun. I do this every year, and every year I always get really good food, so it's good. It's a good project. Do you have your recipe yet? Did you find one? Recipe? Did you find a recipe yet? Okay. Did you find one yet?
Jerk chicken wings.
Okay. No, that's a good idea, because that's something we can definitely do. What's it called? Papaya pie?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Oh boy.
all right, it's not a,
'Cause I don't know what
it's not a
papaya
baked
tastes
pie. It's
like.
their,
Nah, you
it's
can
a
serve it
fruit.
cold.
Yeah, it's a fruit, but I mean, it's not like an apple pie where you have to bake it. Like the papaya is fresh.
You can eat it cold.
Right. So you,
No, I don't have an eavesdrop.
yeah, you basically just toss the papaya with the cinnamon and orange extract, all that stuff, and then you top it with. Yeah, see, you know lemon meringue pie, how you have the meringue on top and you brown it a little bit on the tips in the oven? Have you ever had lemon meringue pie? That's what you're doing with that. Yes.
I had to remind you about the letter of recommendation.
Yes. I have a student, JC, she is interested in going to the restaurant school, which is a branch of the Walnut Hill College in Philadelphia. And she has a meeting, I guess an interview with them on Saturday, and she needs a letter of recommendation. One of my better students in terms of her ability in the kitchen. She's one of those kids that you really feel like you're getting through to. So I was more than happy to write her a letter of recommendation.
All right, so first thing, anybody that inadvertently forgot and still has gum in their mouth, you need to take care of it, okay? Because I know you didn't do it on purpose. I know it was just you forgot. I get it. Any problems that I need to know about? Everybody good? All right, let's go.
Can you take out for me Vamos photo? Do you want to tell one?
Hmm?
Solo?
Yeah, I want Pratik to sing solo too. Hey, don't mess it up. So, when it comes time for you to do that, adoramos al Señor, nuestro Redentor. Nuestro Redentor, you're going to walk. Adoremos al Señor, nuestro. Yeah, normal walk. Don't, like you're going through a cow field or something. Adoremos al Señor, nuestro Redentor. Far enough! Don't get too close to the piano. 2 steps, okay?
Okay.
All right, good. I make it a point every year in talking to the 9th graders, telling them that they're the
the most important class that I meet during the day because they represent the future of this program. And the program is a very fine program, very strong choral program, and our aim is to keep it at that level. And sometimes with ninth graders, it's difficult. You know, they're young, and still, even with that, you need to make sure that they are performing on a high level and that your expectations are high for them. And creating with every day another level. Even with the fact that you try to give them a little bit of space because of their youth, still the expectations are there, and it's important for them to know it. Guys, you catch the spirit. I mean, you know, not every note you sing is perfect, but you know what? You guys sing it with energy. So like it kind of pushes me to want to play the piano with even more gusto. Girls, you need to lift up the level. You're very subdued. It's like I don't want to get too close. You need to jump in. It's like you're dangling your foot in a pool. Don't dangle your foot, jump in. Thank you. All right. No, get into it. Get into it. Get into the spirit of the piece. It's a very exuberant piece. You can't do this like inhibited. This is extroverted. All right, what do you want to run? You want to run?
So from 45, page 8, measure 45. Adoremos. Ready? And.
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Hey, but listen, the night of the concert, you got to self-start. We can't cheerlead you. You know, I can't say, hey, come on, girl. I can't do that. People will wonder, what's the matter with that man? You know? They did nice today.
Yeah, they did some good things.
They really did. You know, some of the notes are not perfect, but hey, the energy.
It's good.
Yeah. It's great.
For Tom Tamborello's honors geometry students, today is a class that they've been looking forward to.
Guys, this is exciting. It is the very last day that I will ever teach you two-column proofs. This is the very last day. Is that not exciting? The very last day. It's depressing for me because after today, I will not teach two-column proofs again until September. Okay? So if I start crying in the middle of the lesson, you'll know why. So when you walk out of here, you're going to be able to construct two-column proofs involving parallelograms. Before we do this, we need to review, which is item number 2 on the itinerary, we need to review the properties of parallelograms because we're going to be using all of those properties in the proofs. Before I enter the classroom, I have a pretty good idea about what kinds of questions I'm going to be asking my students to kind of promote their thinking, how I'm going to check for understanding. You know, we talk about students working in groups, and that's great that they all can come up with the answer together, but how am I as the teacher going to make sure that individual students understand, so that individual learning has to be built into the lesson. So teaching is not just sitting there for 42 minutes rambling off all these facts and notes and stuff. It's about building and crafting a lesson where you're building opportunities for students to process, to demonstrate their understanding, to assess students. So it's just, effective teaching is just, it's absolutely amazing the decision making that has to go into it. Now, The whole point of this is we have to get one of the properties of a parallelogram to be true. We already have that OR is congruent to RE. That's one diagonal being cut in half. Now that those triangles are congruent, what else is going to be equal that's going to kind of help us to get this to be a parallelogram? Karishma. You can say JR is equal to RK, then we will have bisecting diagonals, which means we'll have a parallelogram. There are other things you could say, but that will be the quickest. So we're going to say that JR is congruent to RK. So then we're done. Bisecting diagonals give us a parallelogram. So I'm done teaching two-column proofs. Not exactly, because you may have questions. So what you and your teammates are going to do for the second half of class today is you're going to work on proofs like this. So I'm going to give you a sheet that has these proofs on it. What I would advise you and your team to do is to do one of each. If you have more time, you could certainly do more than that. So take a look at them and try to find one that's like type 1 and another one that's like type 2. And I'm going to actually have some of you put your proofs on your computer screen before the end of the period. Now, if you look at one of the big screens in this room, you will see that group number 3 did proof number 3, how about that, correctly, aside from the little technological problem that we had. They were able to tell us that these two pairs of sides are parallel because of the angles that were given. One was congruent corresponding, one was congruent alternate interior. And so they used the reason parallel opposite sides give us a parallelogram. That's perfect. And how nice is like a 4-step proof. It's very, very good. Now, who from that group is going to come up and play Plinko for doing that for me? Melissa, the Plinko chips right there. Come on up. And I'm going to put this on your group points. So team number 3, let's see how many points we're going to add for doing that for me. Let's play a little Plinko here today.
Plinko is great. I'm a huge game show fan. So as regimented as teaching sometimes can be, you do have to bring your own personality into the room. And the students know I love game shows. So whenever I can, I try and turn the class into some kind of game show. So from time to time, we'll use the Plinko board, which is from The Price is Right. Anytime you can kind of have fun with it, it's very important.
I am now going to take a look at what Group 6 is doing. You can see what Group 6 is doing. The first parallelogram property that they used was the fact that the triangles are ASA, and then they use CPCTC. So group number 6 did a very good job on that. Does anybody have questions for them? All right, group number 6, I'll do the same thing. Come on up and I'll add some points to your team sheet. Sam is going to drop the Plinko chip down for her group. Here we go. Let's see if you can get more than 1 point this time.
In order for students to be able to learn, your brains cannot be too nervous. You can't be worried about making a mistake, because when our brains are worried about making mistakes, you have all this adrenaline rush in your head, and it shuts down your thinking. It's actually research-based and it's proven. So if you're having fun in the classroom, students are more relaxed and their brains are more able to think and be focused on the material you're teaching them.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And you'll never do it again. 1 point. Okay. Wow. All right. So folks, hopefully we've achieved the objective. Tonight, you're going to do the other 2 proofs for homework. Tomorrow, we're going to review, and there's a quiz on Thursday. Good job. Have a good day, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you do those proofs.
Next time on We Teach.
3 red. That's his 5th. That's 5. 10 for 2. We made 2. Full timeout at 1:53.
All right, I need people who have free hands. You guys have free hands? Let's go get the chafing dishes for the table. It's falling off already over here.
There is a certain level of performance that is expected of them. No, do it again. Sing the right note. Do it again. Come on. No. Don't stop now. Just when you're almost at the door to get into making something, don't stop now. And we're very We're very demanding. We're very demanding. Nothing gets by.